Welcome out to Spillane Field, everybody. It is the Chatham Anglers coming in to play the Wareham Gatemen. The Anglers sitting at 10-13. The Gatemen sitting at 10-12-1. Jacob Toby alongside Connor Federico. We will check in with our Claudia Chikamian in a little bit. Thanks for tuning in to Wareham Gatemen Baseball here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. How we doing, buddy?
Oh, this is a great day. We're really looking forward to some baseball tonight. The Chatham Anglers are in town. We just had a great anthem. Really looking forward to a ball game for the Wareham Gatemen, in which they're facing a Chatham Anglers team that comes into this game 2-9 on the road, and that's something the Gatemen need to take advantage of. They sit at 6-6 right now at home, and that's a number they need to improve upon. Get that to 7-6 tonight. Get yourself back to 11-12-1. That'd be really nice for the Gatemen, and that'd be a good springboard moving forward.
Couple of fourth place teams playing tonight. Of course, Wareham in the West, they are fourth place, sitting behind Katuitt, who leads with 28 points. Bourne, Falmouth, then Wareham Hyannis is last place with 19 points. Orleans sits at the top of the East with 30 points, followed by YD, Brewster, Chatham, and Harwich. Let's go over the Chatham starting lineup. It is Josh Shaw, the second baseman. He leads it off. Jacob Olson, the right fielder, bats second. Shea Langoliers is the DH. He bats third. Johnny Aieo is at third base. Nick Patton, the first baseman. Jeremy Pena, the catcher. Josh Stowers, and left. Antonio Relat, the shortstop. Mason Coppins bats ninth. He's in center field. Let's take a look at the Gatemen defense. Kyle Castor is at third. Ben Baird's the shortstop. Jaron Duran at second. Blake Sable at first. Left to right in the outfield, John Topa, Stephen Kwan, Tanner Dodson. Jake Anchia does the catching for Griffin Roberts. So Griffin Roberts getting the start tonight for the Gatemen. We last saw him versus Bourne on the 4th of July at Doran Park. He went 4 innings in his start, gave up a couple earned runs, 5 hits, also 5 strikeouts and a walk. His breaking ball was very successful in that outing against the Bourne Braves lineup, which was pretty tough going into that game. So Josh Shaw, Jacob Olson, Shea Langoliers will be the 3 hitters to face Griffin Roberts here in the first inning. Chatham coming off an 8-2 loss versus the Orleans Firebirds. Only 3 players recorded hits in that game. They, after scoring 9 runs on 9 hits in a 9-5 win at YD Saturday. So similar situation for the Wareham Gatemen, coming off a game where you only have 3 hits.
And you just said it, 23 innings of baseball in 2 days. You know, some of these guys, they also do community service work. They have jobs in the community. A lot of them that are in the starting lineup tonight, Duran and Sable, they were at Tanner Dodson. They were working at the Gatemen Baseball Clinics very early this morning. So, I mean, this summer is just a grind for these players. And, you know, especially looking forward to a next couple of weeks where they're going to be without an off day.
Mike Griffin's the home plate umpire tonight. Nick DeMarchi at first. Joseph Peters is the umpire at third. So Josh Shaw stepping in, the second baseman, batting .352, no home runs, and 11 RBIs. Swings at the first pitch. Roberts throws on to Ben Baird, the shortstop, and 1 pitch and 1 out.
Well, isn't that the key to success for Griffin Roberts tonight? Get ahead in the count. How about getting a ground ball on the first pitch? And, of course, Ben Baird over there, great defensive shortstop, does a great job. And, you know, Roberts is a strikeout guy, but much like Justin Glover did earlier in the season, something Justin Montgomery does, trust your defense. They're very capable.
This is Jacob Olson swinging on the first pitch, fouls it off to the right. .325, 2 home runs, and 13 runs batted in. Olson was 0 for 4 yesterday with a strikeout versus Orleans.
And now for Roberts, you have an 0-2 against Olson, who's dangerous, just like all this Chatham lineup. I mean, their record doesn't necessarily reflect how good they've been in the ball games they've played, but Roberts can take advantage of this 0-2 count now.
This one swung on and hit foul right back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and I can't wait for him to pull out that slider. I mean, it is deadly, and I'm sure Chatham knows all about it. Had a great season for Wake Forest as a reliever, coming in here as a starter, hitting high heat. We saw him hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball at Bourne.
Good at bat here, fouls another one off. Still 0-2. Chatham is 2-0 versus Wareham this season. They won the doubleheader, both games, 8-3 and 6-1 at Chatham.
Disappointing effort for the Gatemen. They came into that Sunday 2-1 on the season, but a lot of the current pieces that are on this team were not there.
Called strike 3 in the inside part. Griffin Roberts with his first strikeout of the day. Nasty stuff. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. 2 gone.
I don't even know how that's physically possible. Jacob Olson probably just saw a pitch that's, only 10 miles an hour slower than Roberts' fastball. Looked like it was going to hit him right in the gut. Instead, it just crosses over and, goes over the inside corner of the plate.
Swinging at the first pitch is Shea Langolier. Sends it to right. Tanner Dodson tracking it down. Makes the catch and ends the inning. The Chatham Anglers, they go 1-2-3. Gatemen coming up next here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
The Down East Lobster Roll combos are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Back out at Spillane Field, Jacob Toby alongside Connor Federico. Chatham Anglers, they go 1-2-3. It's Wareham's turn. Their lineup goes as follows. Stephen Kwan will lead it off. He's the center fielder. Tanner Dodson will bat second. Kyle Kasser at third bats third. Jake Anchia is the cleanup hitter tonight, doing the catching behind the plate. John Topa back in the lineup after sitting out yesterday's contest. Blake Sable, Tristan Pompey, Jaron Duran bats eighth. He's at second. Ben Baird, the shortstop, he bats ninth. Taking a look at the Chatham defense, Johnny Aieo is the third baseman. Antonio Relat, the shortstop. Josh Shaw at second. Nick Patton is the first baseman. Left to right in the outfield, Josh Stowers, Mason Coppins, Jacob Olson. Jeremy Pena does the catching for Austin Bergner. Bergner 6'4", 199 pounds. He's a right-handed pitcher at a UNC. Just finished his freshman season.
I'm excited to watch this guy pitch tonight, and I'm sure the Gatemen, they're up for the challenge. It's going to be a challenge. This guy he really has a high heat fastball.
Kwan pulls back the bunt on the first pitch. 478 this season, no home runs, 6 RBIs.
Real pest at the top of the lineup. I know we've said it over and over again, but he's really capable.
Takes a fastball for strike one. Last 7 games, Kwan hitting .450. That's third in the CCBL.
Yeah, and he's only been here, a week? Really just showing his stuff early on.
Sends this one to right. Will it stay fair? It is foul.
Well, that was going to be an extra base hit for sure. The only question is whether it would have been a double or a triple for the guy like Kwan, who has such great speed. He leads off pretty much every at-bat, every game with showing bunt. And it just brings the corners of the infield in just a bit. And with 2 strikes, obviously now they can sort of relax. But, Kwan has all the tools. You never know what he's going to throw at you. And we just saw him show off his arm for the first time last night.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Bergner. And this one sent up in the air. Coming in is the center fielder Coppins, but making the catch will be the shortstop Relat. And Kwan is retired for the first out.
Good at bat by Quan. Overall, I think, you know, he ends up flying out, but he almost had that double down the right field line. Made the pitcher, Bergner, work a little bit.
Make sure to email us questions, comments, concerns about the broadcast at pressbox@gatemen.org. Also follow the Gatemen on every social media platform, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Here comes Tanner Dodson to the plate, the right fielder, batting .412, no home runs, 8 RBIs, and guess what? He's first in the league in batting average now.
He's plainly fantastic, and the only reason he wasn't first is because he didn't qualify in terms of at-bats.
Sends this one way foul down the left field line, 1 ball and 1 strike. We have a Twitter poll tonight. If you want to go to the Wareham Gatemen Twitter page, what former Gateman would you choose to win a home run derby? Of course, the Major League Home Run Derby is tonight. And there's 4 answers you can choose from. This one will actually hit Dodson, so he goes down to first.
Well, that's the first base runner of the game, and the Gatemen, after a tough night last night, will take any base runner however you can get them. And right now you got a speedy guy like Dodson on, Kyle Kasser at the plate, Jake Anchia, and his 3 home runs on the season afterwards. This is a good start to the first inning so far.
Kyle Kasser to the plate. So the 4 possibilities you can answer to the poll: what former Gateman would you choose to win a home run derby? Kyle Schwarber, Colton Shaver, Tyler Horan, George Springer.
Well, Colton Shaver hasn't even played a Major League Baseball game yet, just drafted, but I mean, he has the power to be able to do it. I mean, in terms of Schwarber and Springer, 2 legendary Gatemen. The Gatemen have a couple other all-stars in terms of pitchers. I don't know, Schwarber's got such great power.
Kasser with Dodson at first. Swings on the 0-1. That goes foul. Colton Shaver, of course, led the league in home runs and RBIs last season, was in the home run derby.
We'll be hosting that here at Spillane Field. Hampton's League Home Run Derby and All-Star Game tonight.
Ah. I'm sure you'll be paying close attention.
I will. Two Chatham anglers, both pitchers. They made that All-Star Game last summer.
Check Dodson back at first base. Kasser on the season, .308, no home runs, and 5 ribbies. Bergner's 0-2. This one off foul as well. Bergner making his 4th appearance in his 3rd start. He's 1-1 with a 0.90 earned run average. He's pitched 10 innings, 9 strikeouts, and 4 walks.
Well, they love him in Chatham just because of all of his production. He can give you a multitude of innings. He can really work with his fastball and that put-away pitch, the curveball. With 2 strikes here, Kasser's got to be looking out for it.
0-2, Kasser staying alive. That's the 3rd straight ball he's fouled off.
It's a good at-bat, and I know he hasn't taken any balls yet, and it's 0-2 in the pitcher's favor. But Kasser, another guy who can work these long at-bats. Jake Anchia after him, a bit more of a free swinger. Even though he is a catcher, he has a great eye. But as soon as he sees a pitch that he likes, he'll swing at it.
No balls and 2 strikes is the count. Dodson's the runner at first. He reached on a hit by pitch. And the catcher, Pena, thought about snapping down to first, but back quickly is Dodson.
If the batter's a righty there, I think Dodson's out at first. But the difference is that Kasser is standing right there in the catcher's way. Fabian Pena has a very good arm. We saw that just a couple of weeks ago.
To left, right to Stoers. He makes the catch for out number 2.
The catcher, number 16, Jake Anchia.
So that'll bring up Jake Anchia, 226, 3 home runs, and 8 RBIs.
Really just great production for him this year coming out of Nova Southeastern University. Had a good year with the Sharks, 17 home runs. And now you come here to the Cape Cod Baseball League and you really just show off your power, show off your defensive prowess. He's another guy that he might come from a D2 school, but he can play with the best of them here.
Bats from the right side and takes ball 1. a guy who usually would be hitting in the cleanup spot tonight, Willie McIver, sitting this one out. He was one of 6 players to play all 23 games this season.
What an impressive feat, too. You got to think he could have played all of them.
Broken bat, falling fast out in left center field, and will be in for the base hit. Broken bat doesn't matter. It's first and second for the Gatemen with 2 outs.
First base hit for the Gatemen. It comes in the first inning, rather in the bottom of the 9th inning, as it did last night against another East Division foe, the YD Red Sox. So, you know, right there, Bergner threw a good pitch. He jammed Anchia, really. You heard the broken bat. It was a good pitch on the inside corner. Anchia, though, we've talked about his strength, and that's the only reason he got that ball even into the outfield.
John Topa, the left fielder, 356, no home runs and 9 RBIs, takes a first pitch strike. Topa tied 4th in the league in batting average coming into tonight.
Yeah, and he's just been one of those consistent guys for the Gatemen, hits after hits after hits. We haven't seen him have many over nights.
Dotson at second, and Chia at first, breaking ball in the dirt.
Topa, the best way to describe him is just a really smart baseball player, has a great eye at the plate, out in left field. He knows where he needs to make the throws. He can read balls off the bat pretty much immediately. He's just been a great asset to this Gatemen squad.
1-1 pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bergner, his fastball runs 93 to 95. Also throws a changeup, 84 to 87, and an 11 to 5 curveball, somewhere in the 76 to 79 range. Gets away from Pena's mitt. Runners will advance. So now the Gatemen have a chance to take the lead here in the bottom of the first.
That's a tough call for our official scorer over here, and it's going to be ruled a passed ball. Yeah, that one did not look like it hit the dirt. Looks like it just came out of Pena's glove, reaching for it on his backhand side. Sometimes catchers, they just assume the ball's going to hit the dirt, and they have their glove and their body in that sort of position. I think that's what happened to Pena right there. He was caught.
Nice hitter's count here for Topa. 3 balls and 1 strike. Bergner's pitch. And now the bases will be loaded.
Yeah, great at-bat by John Topa. He really didn't have to do all that much. Just look at, 4 pitches that were pretty close to clipping the edges of the zone. And now you defer the responsibility to Blake Sable, lefty in this righty-lefty matchup. He has a home run on the year, but that was a long time ago. We haven't seen him produce much since.
203, that 1 home run and 4 RBIs. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, and a big hack and a miss on that breaking ball.
Yeah, for Bergner, that's a big comeback pitch right there, because in this inning, you've given up a hit by pitch and a walk to 2 speedy guys, Dodson and Topa. Guys that you want to challenge yourself and have real at-bats against and get out. So now with the bases loaded, only in the first inning, he's worked himself into some trouble, and that's sort of been the theme for Chatham. That's why they're 2-9 on the road this season, and you really don't want to let the Gatemen score first.
Broken bat on to the first baseman, Patton. Takes it himself, unassisted. And the Gatemen, they leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the first. They can't score. We jump to inning number 2 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Wareham and Chatham all tied up at 0.
Listen to the game wherever you go with the Next Radio app. Catch this station's local broadcast or stream all the action right on your phone. Visit the Google Play Store and download the free Next Radio app today.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Friendly's Restaurants, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to be the official ice cream of the Cape Cod Baseball League and bring together two of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and ice cream.
Griffin Roberts is back on the hill for the second inning. He struck out Jacob Olson looking in that first inning. He went 1-2-3 and looked pretty good.
And the first pitch to Josh Shaw was grounded out, so his pitch count very low right now, below 10. Had a good at-bat with Langoliers, but got him to fly out to right, which, by the way, was a pop-up, but it was sort of deep out there in right field. Would have most definitely been gone at Chatham's Veterans Field.
Johnny Aiello, the third baseman, stepping in. This is his first game in 2017 here on the Cape with the Anglers. Back in 2016, he batted .189, a home run, 6 RBI, so he knows the Cape pretty well.
Yeah, and he had a really good year for Wake Forest this season, and look at this right now. Demon Deacons matching up Griffin Roberts on the hill and Aiello. In the school-on-school matchup that I can remember, I think John Topa went 2 for 2 against his UConn teammates that play for Bourne. Yeah, for Bourne.
And this pitch does not hit Aiello. Thought it maybe did, but now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
9 strikes to start off the game for Griffin Roberts, and that's a really incredible stat. Throws a ball in this pitch, in this at-bat, rather.
Roberts 1-2. Right up the middle. No doubt about it, base hit. So Aiello finds himself on first, the leadoff hitter for the Chatham Anglers.
And that was that slider coming in from Roberts, and what he did well was he attacked it before the pitch got a chance to move fully. And when you play a full college season with a guy, even 2, you know their pitches because you have to practice against them. And Griffin Roberts is probably a great pitcher for the Wake Forest hitters to simulate off of. That's why Wake Forest was so good this season. They've got guys like Roberts and others who can give you really tough at-bats in practice. So then you're ready for the real contest.
Nick Patton takes ball 1. Patton, 257, 3 home runs in 15 RBIs.
Week 1 Coca-Cola Hitter of the Week, I believe, in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Snap throw down to first by the catcher, Anchia, and Sable puts down the tag. Nice play from Anchia and Sable. Sable snapping his hand a bit, maybe got hit somehow, but nevertheless, he makes that incredible tag.
Well, what he did was bring the tag so fast that he's probably in a little bit of shock in his wrist right now, but Jake Anchia, Blake Sable, Griffin Roberts, they'll all take that. Very happy. In this at-bat, so now, Nick Patton has nobody on, 1 out. The situation changes for Roberts, who's thrown 2 sliders so far.
This one runs in and hits Patton. So now each team has a hit by pitch.
Well, it seems simple, but it just also seems like the Gatemen have more success in games wherein they're not hitting people with pitches. So often we've seen in the early part of the season that when guys are hit by a pitch with 2 outs, they eventually come home to score against the Gatemen. So Roberts, he needs to be in control now. 1 base runner, take the driver's seat.
Swinging on the first pitch is Pena. Roberts has to go to first, the only play he could make. Pena retired for the second out.
Yes, swinging on the first pitch there was Pena. A really athletic play on the mound by Griffin Roberts. does a good job there of retiring. Pena running back after all his momentum takes him towards the plate after throwing that pitch. And a good sidearm throw, really accurate. Made Sable's life easy over there at first.
Josh Stowers, left fielder, is 4 for 22 on the season. Has walked once, struck out 8 times.
Roberts loves it. He's clipping that outside corner right now. He's really in command despite having a runner in scoring position. I think he's got confidence in his stuff right here.
Nice slider there. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I mean, when you're seeing a pitch like this for the first time, it seems like it comes all the way from the inside part of the right-handed batter's box. Just clips the inside part of the strike zone.
0-2. Called strike 3. Second strikeout for Griffin Roberts. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. So the Chatham Anglers, they can't score. It's still 0-0 here at Spillane Field. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod. On behalf of the visiting team, the Wareham Gatemen, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2017 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Chatham Bars Inn, the Fuller Family Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod Potato Chips, Friendly's Ice Cream, Baseball Factory, Cape and Island License Plate, 47 Brand, Cape Cod 5 Cents Saving Bank, Stop and Shop, Peapod. We'll be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors.
Let's rock and roll, as our producer Matt Weaselthayer likes to say. Jacob Toby alongside Connor Federico. We'll be checking in with our Claudia Chikamian in a little bit, and Tristan Pompey will lead it off for the Wareham Gatemen.
Yeah, and against a pitcher, Bergner, who threw 22 pitches in the first inning. So we'll wonder how long he'll go in this game.
Tristan Pompey, 178, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs. Pompey splits the right side of the infield for a base hit. He's got to like to see that.
And, I mean, come on, Tristan Pompey, this is a guy coming into this season. Gatemen fans were so excited to see he has all 5 tools defensively with speed, power, can hit for average. He hasn't been doing it so far this summer, but if he gets on a hot streak like he had this spring with the Kentucky Wildcats, I mean, a lot of scouts have said he might end up being better than his brother Dalton Pompey, who, you know, just last year was the opening day starter for the Toronto Blue Jays in center.
Duran swings at the first pitch, sends it down the left field line. Stowers going to make an attempt, and he makes the catch. There's a lot of room down there in left field in foul territory. He makes the grab, covering a lot of ground.
Yeah, we rarely see somebody make a catch all the way out there by the football post over there in left field, and Stowers just really athletic, has a lot of speed. That's the only reason he got to that baseball, and, you know, the pitcher, Bergner, should tip his cap to his left fielder. Thank him, because now you have 1 out in this inning.
Ben Baird, 150, no home runs, 3 RBIs. Comes up with Pompey at first base. And Bergner checking him, make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
I mean, Baird had a very slow start to this spring, and since he's been putting a couple base hits together per game he plays.
Takes a pitch up high, 1-0.
We still have not seen Pompey steal a base, and I'm really anxious to see it because, you know, he was the leadoff guy for Kentucky this spring. So here in the summer, want to see what he can do.
Yeah, he led the team in walks. Also strikeouts, though. We've seen that be an issue here, but very slowly that's kind of going away. He's working on it.
Well, I mean, he's not a typical leadoff hitter. Usually you don't ask guys who strike out a lot to hit in that role, but he has speed, he has power.
Bergner waiting the signs from Pena, and this one fouled off. 1-2.
You know, you can wonder about the decision by the Kentucky coaching staff, but in the end, Kentucky had their best season in literally 100 years of Kentucky baseball history, making a super regional, eventually losing to in-state rival Louisville.
Yeah, we know Kentucky as that basketball program.
Right, and their baseball program was nothing for many, many years.
Pompey's at first, Ben Baird at the plate. Here comes Bergner's 1-2. Pompey fakes going. This one swung at and chopped foul into the dugout of Chatham.
Ben Baird, not really a ground ball double play candidate. He has plenty of speed. You know, we have seen speedy guys like Tanner Dodson and Willie McIver, John Topa. They've been doubled up for the Gatemen infield right now at double play depth. Baird could take advantage of this if he can hit one in a hole. He has a lot of space to either the 5-6 gap or the 3-4 gap.
And although we haven't seen Pompey steal, they're still worried about him over there at first because they know. 1-2 to right. It is fair. Pompey's going to head for third. Baird to second. And the Gatemen, with one out, have runners in scoring position.
Isn't that what you wanted right there from Ben Baird? He's got a 1-2 count against him, and Bergner was looking really good against the 8-9 guys, Duran and Baird. Suddenly, Baird just gets a little single over the first baseman's head, placed it perfectly along the right field line. That's got to help his confidence a lot. Second double we've seen on the season out of Baird. And Stephen Kwan is a great candidate to hit right now. 2 runners in scoring position. You bring up the top of your lineup. This is what we've wanted to see out of the bottom of the Gatemen order. They're coming through right now.
Kwan flew out to the shortstop, Ralat, his first time up.
Corners of the infield in, trying to knock down Pompey at home in case he decides to go.
1-0 squib foul.
Jimmy Francos is a very good third base coach, though. He just smartly told Pompey to hold up at third. Maybe in some situations you would have given him the wave around. But last night, a couple base running blunders by the Gatemen. You have one in the first inning where Stephen Kwan is tagged out at home. Later, Willie McIver picked off in the 9th. Later in the, or maybe it was back in the 8th when John Topa was caught at home.
Bergner steps off the mound. Yeah, Jimmy Francos at third doing the coaching. Sean Callahan at first for the Gatemen. Francos filling in, of course, for Don Snedden, who did that last year. Ground ball to the shortstop will get in a run. Pompey scores. Kwan's retired, but he gets the RBI. Gatemen take the 1-0 lead.
Good for Stephen Kwan, getting a nice little RBI right there, and very smart base running. Heads up by Tristan Pompey. I think he had that completely planned out. If this is going to the middle infield, I'm headed home. And he was going to be safe the whole way for the first run of the game. 2 outs now, but Chatham's not out of this inning. You still have Baird over there at third.
And a hot Tanner Dodson at the plate was hit by a pitch back in the first. And right off the catcher, Pena. He's going to take a second. Him and Dodson kind of laugh about it for a moment. Bergner's last outing was July 3rd versus YD. He got the win. 6 innings pitched, no earned. 6 strikeouts, no walks. hit 96 on the gun a couple times. Well, he's been pretty good.
Yeah, that mid-90s fastball. I mean, I know it's the Cape League, but it's still a situation where, you know, you're not used to seeing that throughout the course of the spring season with your respective teams, but it's the Cape League. It's for the best of the best.
Dotson takes strike 2, and Bergner 1 strike away from getting out of the inning, letting up that 1 run. Kwan grounds out, but Pompey scores. 0-2 pitch. Just missing inside.
Yeah, Dodson didn't like that call on the outside corner before that made this count 0-2, but the Gatemen and Griffin Roberts, they've been getting those calls too. Mike Griffin, very fair through 2 innings so far to both sides.
Dotson to the third baseman, Aieo on the run. He will retire Dodson to end the inning, but not before the Gatemen strike first. They get an RBI from Stephen Kwan, driving in Tristan Pompey. They lead it 1-0. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Continuing with our corporate sponsors, we also want to recognize and thank Franklin Sports, Advanced Embroidery, Cape Destinations, Robert B. R., Sullivan Tire, Vacation Inn Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists, Cape Cod Times, Kinlan Grover Real Estate, Next Radio, Yellow Book, TSA, Rawlings, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, Highline Cruises, Sports Picks, On Deck Sports, Barnstable Bat, Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce, H.P. Hood, Sunderland Printing, and Axis Bats. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care.
Wareham strikes first. They score 1 run in the bottom of the second. We're on to the third. Jacob Toby alongside Connor Federico, and nice job there by Wareham getting ahead 1-0.
That's exactly what you want to see. You know, the Gatemen going into last night, they were 9-3 when scoring the first run in a game after last night. Oh no, they did not score the first run in the game last night. So that stat still remains. They're 9-3. That's a big difference. When you can get that first run on the board, take control.
Relat swings at the first pitch. Sable gives chase, but it goes foul, 0-1.
So the difference in this inning now, you have Roberts taking on the 8-9 guys to start it off, and you have to be more successful against that bottom of the lineup than Austin Bergner just was for Chatham. You eventually let the 7 guy in Pompey come around to score.
0-1. Right back to Roberts. Will flip it to his teammate Sable for out number 1.
I wonder if it's a coincidence that all the Gatemen pitchers go underhand on ground balls right back at them. They sprint over to first, give a nice underhand flip to the first baseman. That's not, I don't know exactly, you know, what the percentages of pitchers who do that as opposed to throwing overhand. You know, it depends on the situation, but maybe that's something Coach Lawler has been working on because they all seem to do it.
Center fielder Mason Coppin swings and fouls it off. 296, no home runs, and 4 RBIs.
As far as I can recall, Jacob, we have not seen this season an error made on a 3-1 or a 1-3 put out over at first base when both the pitcher and the first baseman are involved. And that's something that's worked on a lot in practice at any level, from Little League to the pros here in the Cape Cod League. We know Coach Don Sneddon likes to work on the little things with these guys, and that's really what he's here to do.
0-2. Breaking ball. Catching, Coppins looking for out number 2. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard.
So, Jacob, that was the third strikeout of the night for Griffin Roberts. All of them on that slider to a right-handed batter that sees it come in at their gut, and it eventually just goes right over the heart of the plate.
Leadoff hitter Shaw takes a strike. There it is again.
I mean, our WCTV camera crew is very good, but there's nothing like watching this slider in real life. I've never seen anything like it.
0-1 missing closely. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Griffin Roberts has tremendous talent, and he's been showing that off for the Gatemen this summer. He's going to continue to. You know, he did a lot of relieving at school, so didn't get the extension of innings. And the advantage there, when you're a reliever, you only come in for maybe an inning or two. You only see batters once, and usually no more than that. As a starter, you know, you usually end up figuring out a pitcher the second or third time through. This slider, though, you may have it figured out. It doesn't mean you're going to make contact.
2-1 fouled off in the box.
First time in a while we've seen Roberts fall behind in a count, and he gets himself right back 2-2.
Orlock grounded out to the pitcher to start the inning. Coppins strikes out looking, and now Josh Shaw with a 2-2 count with 2 outs in the inning. Here comes. Fanning Shaw for out number 3 is Griffin Roberts. That's his 4th strikeout of the night. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Gatemen up 1-0 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Fuller Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back. I'm Claudia Chakamian. So it's been a hectic day here at Spillane Field all morning. So the game, we didn't know if it was going to happen. We're really happy it's here. It's a beautiful night so far. The Gatemen did not have batting practice or have their normal pregame routines, and the Anglers got here pretty late for a game and didn't take their normal BP either. So we didn't know what to expect, especially after the Gatemen had these past 2 late innings the past 2 nights. I talked to head coach Don Stennon before the game. He said they should be fine. They took some BP back behind the cages before the game. He said it's not what they're used to, but they can adapt, and that's what it's about. It's adapting and not breaking that routine. So, you know, we're not expecting the situation to happen often, of course, but they said as long as they got that practice in, they'll be fine. Also, I asked him about what does he think, you know, they didn't get that normal practice in, and having those late innings, what does he think was going to happen with that bullpen especially? He said they should be good as long as they don't go into any more extra innings over these next couple of days, which I think we can all agree on. We don't really want to see happening. And then he said as of getting the game not to go into extras, he said they just need to go out there and score early, which is exactly what they did in that last inning, getting that run on the board. So we'll have to see what happens next. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Claudia. Kyle Kasser will lead it off for Wareham here in the bottom of the 3rd. This one skips all the way back to the fence. Kyle Kasser flew out to left field his first time up. One ball and 1 strike is the count. It is going to be Kasser and Chia and Topa. 3-4-5 for Wareham. Wareham again coming off that 11-inning 3-1 loss to YD. 3 total hits in that game, all coming in the 9th, 10th, and 11 innings. There was a no-hitter going into that 9th inning last night. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
To the second baseman, Shaw. Retires Kasser. But yeah, man, that was something else last night, to tell you the truth.
The Gatemen were in that ball game. They forced extra innings despite having 1 hit through 9 innings. They eventually get 3 hits in that game, but 1 in the 9th, 1 in the 10th, 1 in the 11th. Just not a good performance through 8, and they did find a way to score a run. You know, a walk turns into a passed ball, that turns into a sack bunt, that turns into an RBI ground out. So all sorts of things going against and for the Gatemen.
And Chia takes ball 1, and Chia singled his first time up.
Love to see him in this 4 spot. That's what he was doing for most of the season. We haven't seen him there in a while.
Swings on this one, pops it up. Shallow right field. Coming over is the second baseman, Shaw. Almost a collision there between the first baseman, Nick Patton, but they put him away for out number 2.
The only reason there wasn't a collision is because Josh Shaw is so much shorter than his first baseman, Patton, that he ran right underneath his arm.
Topa walked his first time up. The Yukon Husky. Swings on the first pitch, out to right field. Going back is Olson. Makes the catch, retires Topa. Gatemen go quickly. 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. We head to the 4th. Gatemen up 1-0. You're listening and watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Back at Spillane Field, Jacob Toby, along with a very special guest, good friend of mine, John Garner, Director of Broadcasting here for the Cape League.
Thank you, Jacob. Great being on with you here today at beautiful Spillane Field.
So I interned under you for a couple of years now. I mean, this is a great league. This is a great time to be on the Cape because Cape League baseball is so special. We've got the All-Star game here at Spillane Field. What's that going to be like?
Well, it's the second of the last 3 years. Before, the different teams would take turns, east versus west, and then you wouldn't be back at a particular ballpark for 7 or 8 years. But now it's a whole different process where each team puts in a bid to a committee, the All-Star Game Committee and the Executive Committee during the off-season, and whoever comes up with the best bid gets the All-Star Game. They do like to go back and forth between the divisions, but so this is the second time in 3 years that it's back at Wareham.
Jacob Olson sends this one high up in the sky. Going out there is the third baseman, Kasser. Baird, the shortstop, will actually make the catch for out number 1. So the reason you're here tonight, you usually do the WEEI broadcast Sunday night game of the week. Tonight's Monday. It was supposed to be a special, broadcast. The Wi-Fi issue there was. So you'll be coming back, but talk a little bit about what you do with WEEI.
Yeah, we have a game of the week, as you well know, Jacob, because you helped us with it every week 2 years ago before you got the Wareham gig. And it's really great because it's an over-the-air station, 50,000 watts, going all the way into Providence and north of Boston and all over the Cape, 96.3 WEEI. And we get a big baseball audience because we're usually every Sunday on either right after the Red Sox or if they're on ESPN right before with the mother station, WEEI, up in Boston.
Shea Langoliers takes strike 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Langoliers flew out to right to end the first.
And this guy is one of the best hitters in the league, Langoliers. I saw him hit a grand slam home run in a game we did 2 weeks ago in Hyannis.
Yeah, he's got a lot of power. 4 RBIs, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs this season.
And in that doubleheader, I believe he had 7 RBIs
wow.
in that one doubleheader. So that was a doubleheader loss.
This one runs in, be 3 balls and 1 strike. You have seen a lot of baseball here on the Cape for a long time. And we have a poll question on Twitter, actually on the Wareham Gatemen Twitter. Who would you like to see in a home run derby out of Gatemen alumni? Who would you like to see out of anyone Cape League alumni? Who's your winner? You could take anyone that's played out here on the Cape.
actually saw him maybe one time before I got involved with the league, and Frank the Big Hurt Thomas would be one guy that I would probably look at pretty. Yeah, he had great power. I know in Orleans he hit that out in right center. He hit that clubhouse on the fly.
Oh, wow! Really?
That was a pretty long ball. Yeah, over 500 feet, I believe. So that was a big fly that time. And I heard that he actually used Bo Jackson's bat. They were teammates for 1 year at Auburn, and he used the black bat that he had, and he hit 3 home runs in one playoff game with that bat. So that's what history tells us.
Langoliers strikes out looking. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. And Johnny Aiello takes strike 1.
I would say another guy I would mention would be Corey Snyder, who has the all-time home run record. Now, it was back in the aluminum bat era. For about 10 years, the Cape League, from the mid-'70s till 1984, used aluminum. And Corey Snyder, I think it was 82 or 83, hit 23 home runs. That's a record that I don't think will ever be broken. 23 homers in one 44-game season.
Well, last year was Colton Shaver of the Gatemen. He had 9.
Right.
I mean, that's very, very different number.
Yeah, and then Corey, of course, went on to become the American League Rookie of the Year with Cleveland and played for several Major League teams and had a very good Major League career, but that was probably his highlight.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Aiello. Griffin's pitch in the dirt.
And some exciting news tomorrow night. We've got Chris Sale, who pitched in 2009 in the Cape League for the YD Red Sox, and he's going to be starting for the American League All-Star team, and I believe he's the second pitcher since 1983-84 when Dave Stieb of the Toronto Blue Jays started back-to-back All-Star games for the American League.
We'll talk about that on the other half of this break. Strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. We'll take a short break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Gatemen up 1-0. Do
you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com. Or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Back with John Garner, Director of Broadcasting for the Cape Cod Baseball League, and talked about it just right there in the break. John Schiffner has just been otherworldly incredible for this Chatham Anglers team. 25 years in service.
One of the great things about John is not only the success of his teams here, and he certainly had a lot of playoff, I think 15 playoff appearances for his teams, but over 120 major leaguers he's managed during that time. It's just incredible.
Blake Sable grounded out to the first baseman his first time up, swings and hits this one foul. Yeah, he is. The players love him. The whole organization has just had a real true appreciation for him.
They really have. The team that I believe had the most major leaguers was this 2005 team, which actually lost to Orleans in the East Division Finals. And I believe they had 8 major leaguers on that one squad, including Evan Longoria. Whoa.
Sable out to right field. Going back is Olson. He will make the catch. And you said whoa. I thought whoa too when he hit it at first.
It really had that sound, but he just got under it just a bit. Maybe hit it off the end of the bat a little bit, but showed a lot of power there for sure. Yeah, the 2 outstanding players were probably Evan Longoria, who was the MVP of the league that year, and Andrew Miller, great pitcher for several teams now with Cleveland, and still getting it done.
Yeah,
one of the top long relievers, short relievers, middle relievers in baseball.
Pompey at the plate, singled and came around to score back in the second. You mentioned Andrew Miller. Talk about the famous fog game that he pitched in.
Yeah, that was 2004. He actually pitched back-to-back seasons for Chatham in 2004 and 2005. He was 2-0, but it was the game that he didn't get credit for was the amazing game. He had an immaculate 12 innings where he struck out, 12 batters. He struck out all 12 batters, but did not get credit for the win, nor even any of the statistics, because the game got fogged out after 4.5 innings.
Chatham has always had problems with the fog going back.
Right. And that was, obviously one they talk about and has a lot of lore and mystique to it.
Pompey, a guy that played for Kentucky this past season, he was their leading home run hitter, led the team in walks, but he comes here and starts to struggle a little bit. Talk about kind of that transition from college to Cape League baseball.
I think there's a lot of reasons for it. A lot of teams, and he's getting a walk, it looks like, going to first base. One is the transition from aluminum to wood. That's probably the biggest thing. A lot of times the kids are away from home and their home field for the first time and getting used to new fields and new players and new teams, new managers. And then obviously facing the other team's number one ace, other colleges' number one ace, number two pitchers. You're going into like weekend pitchers all the time. You're not facing the number 4 and 5 starters in college. And it's got to be a lot more demanding on a player.
Duran will bat from the left side with Pompey now going to second, but Duran fouls it off. So would you say that batters have a harder transition than the pitchers coming here?
No question about it. Although I think it's evening out a little bit now. I think players tend to use wood a little bit more, at least the composite bat, during the non-traditional seasons in the fall. I think they use it more in batting practice than they used to. And to get ready for the Cape League season, they're doing that. So they seem to be a little bit more Cape League ready than they used to be, but it's still a transition no matter what.
Check over at Pompey as he went on that first pitch. 0-1 is the count.
So I wanted to ask you a question, Jacob. You've been doing the Cape League reports now on WXTK for the last 3 years, and do you enjoy doing that? Because you get a good league-wide perspective along with just Wareham.
It's great. It's something that I've enjoyed to do over my 3 years here. We've got a double play to end the inning. Nice job there from Josh Shaw to tag out the runner, Pompey, and retire Durant. John Garner, thank you very much for joining us. Director of Broadcasting for the Cape League.
Thank you, Jacob. Always a pleasure.
All right, that's John Garner. My name's Jacob Toby. We'll be back with Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu. It's back. The 2017 Friendlies Cape League All-Star Game will be played at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Mark the date on your calendar, Saturday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., but the gates open at 2 p.m. One highlight will be the home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Be sure to buy your tickets now right here at the merchandise stand. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support our Wareham Gatemen.
Connor Federico back on the broadcast here. Welcome back.
Good to see you.
Jacob Toby, Connor Federico. That was John Garner last inning, the director of broadcasting here on the Cape. Great guy.
I'd much rather listen to him than listen to me.
Wow.
I mean, he's got the best stories. He's been here forever. He's so knowledgeable about the Cape League. Not much happened in that fourth.
No, a double play ball ended the inning. Duran grounds into it. This is Nick Patton for the Chatham Anglers. 1 ball and 1 strike. Patton was plunked back in that second inning.
Yeah, and he's a dangerous hitter for sure.
So you missed 2 strikeouts in the top of the 4th by Griffin Roberts. This one center right.
Not surprised. I did watch them, not too intently. Were they both on the slider?
Yeah, they were both looking.
Of course they were.
What else do you expect?
So that is 5 strikeouts looking to 1 swinging strikeout through 4 innings. Now he's in his 5th inning of work. I mean, it's not all the slider. I mean, he has such a great fastball too, and his command it's otherworldly. Like he's the real deal.
Pena swings at the first pitch, and by the dive of the third baseman, Kasser. So first and second, couple back-to-back singles here to start the 5th.
And coming into this 5th, Roberts only gave up 1 single the entire game. So, I mean, we've seen Gatemen pitchers sort of struggle as they get in later into their outings. You know, Roberts' pitch count is not very high at all right now. He certainly has the ability to get himself out of this bit of a jam.
Josh Stowers, the left fielder, takes ball 1. Stowers was a victim of the strikeout. He went looking to end that 2nd inning. Runners on first and second for the Anglers. And ball 2. Patton, the runner at second. Pena is at first. Anglers threatening here. Tying run is at second base.
I think that was just an off-speed pitch that Stowers was looking to break back by that slider. His bat head was where the slider would have been, except pitch never slid. So Roberts now realizing, you know, they've already seen his slider. Now he needs to work with his other pitches.
2-1 inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Make sure to email pressbox@gatemen.org if you have any comments, questions, concerns about the broadcast. Also follow the Gatemen on every social media platform: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. 3-1, broken bat right to the shortstop, Baird. They try to double up Patton at second. They can't do so, but Stowers lines out.
Chatham bat boy picking up the very tiny piece of wood that came off of Stowers' bat. You know, even when you break a bat or get jammed, every bit of that bat matters, and that's probably a base hit into left center field if that bat doesn't break.
50 pitches now for Griffin Roberts. Antonio Relat, the shortstop, takes ball 1. So this should be the last we see, or think he'd go a little more?
No, not with Jim Lawler and Don Sneddon taking control.
Never with Jim Lawler.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing. In fact, it's only a good thing. You know, on a night where the bullpen is stretched out, it might come into play later.
1-0 into right, in for a base hit, and they're going to wave around Patton. Dodson can't get the ball in time. He's going to throw down to third to get Pena. Can't do it, so Patton scores, and Chatham Anglers have tied up this ball game at 1.
It's rare you'll see 3 base hits in an inning coming out of the right arm of Griffin Roberts, but that's what happened to the 5, 6, and 8 guys in this Chatham order. Pena moves on to third. Dodson probably had a good chance of getting the runner Patton out at home if he had fielded that ball cleanly and right. You know, we know about his arm. Just couldn't play it correctly, and this game's tied now. You know, Coach Schiffner adamantly waving those guys around third base.
Mason Coppins struck out looking in the third. One of the 6 strikeout victims tonight.
There is action in the Gatemen bullpen. It is a lefty arm. We've got to assume that it is Jordan Britton, it is Jordan Britton, and we're really looking forward to seeing him, another one of those guys with an 0.00 ERA.
Breaking ball in for a strike. It is 0-2 with runners at the corners.
Yeah, I mean, you want a ground ball here if you're Roberts. Try to double him up the middle infield. Strikeout would be nice, too.
Roberts steps off the hill. Looks back to third, then back to first.
Well, that's such a great pickoff move when it works because the runner at first is anticipating that left foot going in the air.
0-2, little dribbler to Duran at second. He bobbles it right off his chest. Pena will score from third, and it is 2-0 Chatham. 2-1, excuse me.
The second baseman, number 5, Josh Shaw.
And that's going to be an error on Jaron Duran.
It has to be, and, you know, a tough ground ball for him there. You weren't going to get the runner at home, and you could have had the runner at first, but just took a tough hop off of the grass in Spillane.
Back to the top of the order, Josh Shaw.
So that will not be an RBI for Coppins.
But it does give the Anglers a 2-1 lead. Runners go, hit and run, right to Sable, gobbles it up in time, takes it himself for out number 2. The runners do advance.
Yeah, hit and run was one of the only things that prevented that from becoming a double play. That and Sable knocking it down with his chest instead of with his glove. With Gatemen will take it out at this point. I know both runners move into scoring position, but you do have 2 outs. You just got to get through Shaw or Olson.
Jacob Olson flew out to left field back in the 4th. Swings at the first pitch, sends it out to John Topa in left on the run. Makes the catch to end the inning. Not before. The Chatham Anglers take the lead. They score 2 runs, and they have a 2-1 lead here at Spillane Field. They are watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community. Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Bottom of the 5th at Spillane Field, Jacob Toby now joined by Tom Crane. What's going on, my man?
How you doing? It's a great night for baseball.
Tom Crane does literally everything for the Gatemen. What is your official job title?
Have fun.
Have fun, exactly. Like to have fun, have a couple hot dogs, a grape soda, you know?
Already did it tonight.
Your main role, though, with the Gatemen is the All-Star Game, and it is almost here. It's about 2 weeks away.
Week from Saturday.
And just talk about the process, because it's big.
Well, it's about a year-long process, actually, and we've got to line up volunteers. We've got over 135 volunteers right now, and several committees. The Wareham organization is fantastic for volunteers, so it makes it very easy to set up the All-Star Game because everybody pitches in and does a great job.
Ben Baird will lead it off. It is the 9-1-2 hitters for Wareham, and Baird takes a breaking ball for a ball, 1-0. So what was your first step in the process of doing the All-Star Game? What would you say?
Well, first thing we do is bid for it, and we were the only team that did it this year, so they asked me if we'd be willing to do it again, and we said absolutely, and we're going to have a great time.
Now you have to contact the police station, all that stuff. How does that go?
Town hall, it's everything from getting the permits to the portable toilets to the trash removal to the police to the fire to the EMTs. It's a lot of work, but it definitely pays itself forward.
Should we see 7,000, 8,000? What would you be, the estimate?
They're saying anywhere between 6,000 and 7,000 people, but I've already checked. It's going to be a nice day, so we might even be pushing 8.
Those stands in left field will be full.
They're going to be packed, and in the area, standing area in the outfield.
3-0 count here for Ben Baird. Bergner still on the mound, throws in the strike, 3-1. And so there's got to be a lot of security, obviously.
There's going to be about 12 security people that have volunteered, plus we're going to have the police here with a couple of details all day long. So safety is not an issue. So it's just here for the family, the kids, and everybody here to have a good time and watch a great, great day of baseball.
Full count for Ben Baird. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Baird singled, rather he doubled back in the second. This time he swings and misses into the catcher's mitt, Pena, for out number 1. So what comes next? You talk to the town hall, then you get all the police stuff.
Yep.
Now when you're at the game, what are you doing? Are you just worried all the time, or are you relaxing?
I'll be a bag of nerves. I'm not going to relax until the 7th inning stretch, and then I'll probably fall asleep. But it's everything's all lined up, and you just hope everything goes well, and it will. So we've got it down. The group of us, we've got it down pretty well right now.
Stephen Kwan, the batter. Now, would you, with the committee, with the Gatemen organization, do you look at 2015 and say, how can we improve on that and things of that nature?
Absolutely, but we did a pretty decent job, so there's always room for improvement, and we've already addressed some issues, so we're good to go. I feel very confident right now.
Going to have Fox College Sports in town.
Yep.
That'll be fun. NPR Radio as well.
Everybody's going to be here, and I'll be walking around soaking in. I'll be like a little kid soaking in every bit of it.
And this place will be packed. Can sit 5,000 easily. That's one thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Holding it, plus 2 more thousand.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping we get a lot.
Tanner Dodson takes a first pitch hack and fouls it back. So there are a lot of things you can do at the All-Star game. You can sign autographs. There's the home run hitting contest. So many different things.
Yep, home run hitting contest is a big one. All the kids are out there for that, which I love to see. We'll have our own bat boys out here as well, shagging fly balls. So they have a really good time with it.
Runner goes on a hit and run. Dodson right to the first baseman Patton for out number 2. Kwan advances to second. So we have a Twitter question, Twitter poll up on the Gatemen Twitter, and it's, which Gatemen alumni would you like to see in the Home Run Derby? We know that the Major League Home Run Derby is tonight, and there are 4 options: Kyle Schwarber, Colton Shaver,
Kyle Schwarber,
Tyler Horan, or George Springer.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, boy.
This is a very important opinion. Tom Crane.
I would say, based on seeing those guys play, I'd say Schwarber and second, close second to Horan.
Kasser to left. It's going to go foul. I would go Schwarber, in my opinion. Shaver did win the home run, not the Derby, but he had the most home runs in the league last year.
Right. But the other 2 guys that I mentioned, Schwarber, they put on a show. They hit some long ones.
Some would say you are the biggest fan of the Gatemen. You go to every single game, home and away.
I do. I love it. I wouldn't miss it. Ever since my kids were little, I used to bring them here, and now, hey, this is what I look for during the summer. This is my time of year.
Yeah, I check in with you on Facebook from time to time, seeing your statuses, in February. Opening day is only so many days away.
Yeah, but who keeps track, right?
The Gatemen do keep track.
No, my good friends, they all laugh at me. They say, it's getting close. You can tell by everything that you say. So,
right past Aiello at third. Coming home to score is Kwan. And the Gatemen tied up at 2. You like to see that.
Most definitely.
That'll be an RBI single for Kyle Kasser. So Quan comes in to score, and this game now tied up at 2.
Should have brought him luck.
You should honestly just sit with us the whole time.
I don't know if you want me to be up here that long.
Jake Anchia with 2 outs will come up with a runner on first base. He singled in the first and flew out in the third. What's your favorite part about coming to Spillane Field every day?
My favorite part actually is walking down the left field line and just seeing everything and knowing, hey, we've got a game tonight, and then get to go around and speak to everybody, and I love doing that. I like to socialize before the game. I
don't think I've ever seen you not smiling.
People have said that to me before. I'm in my element right
But
here.
I've never seen you had to deal security-wise with some issue. Does that ever happen? Have you ever had to deal with a real serious issue?
A few times here and there, but nothing this year really. So
that's good. We like to see that.
We like to tell people we're so good that people don't dare try to do anything wrong.
And she has got a 1-1 count with 2 outs against Bergner. Breaking ball missing, 2-1. Who's your favorite person to see every day? It's me, right?
Oh, definitely you. I was just going to say that, but you beat me
Exactly.
to it. And the last one I see, I have to say goodbye to you when you leave the field. So
Exactly. But everyone in the Gatemen organization is so nice.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's more than just organizational members, they're friends. And really mean that because there's a lot of great people.
2-1 to Anchia, sends it foul. Now, how long have you been with the Gatemen?
This is my 9th season, so I'm one of the new guys.
How'd you get roped in?
Actually, I volunteered through because I work in the waste and recycling business. So they asked me about a recycling program. Next thing I know, I did a few security games, and it's grown from there, and I love every minute of it.
Bergner's 2-2. Sent to the second baseman, Shaw. On to first. And that will end the inning. But Kyle Kasser has an RBI single. Scores Stephen Kwan. The Gatemen tied up at 2. Tom Crane, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for having me on. I
Tom
appreciate
Crane is the head of everything for the Wareham Gatemen, head of the All-Star game. He does everything. So, Gatemen score a run. They tied up at 2. We'll be right back on the Gatemen Baseball Network after this.
All-Star Game Weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Veritek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
A lot of movement in this broadcast booth. John H. Wild press box. Jacob Toby now back with Connor Federico.
In all honesty, Jacob, I've had the great pleasure of getting to walk around the ballpark tonight here at Spillane, something haven't really gotten to do. And, you know, in my
socializing?
In my travels, you can hear Coach Schniffner for Chatham say after that inning, win the inning, win the inning. So that's how Chatham takes it one game at a time. The legendary Coach Schiffner that you've already talked about on this broadcast.
How can you not? And we'll be doing it some more later on. Langoliers struck out looking back in the fourth.
More importantly than me, though, Jacob, Griffin Roberts back up here for the 6th inning. First time we've seen a Gatemen starter do that this season.
2-0 becomes 3-0 up and in.
And it makes sense, Jacob, because you want to be careful with all the used arms in your bullpen. That you're preparing for the future games too. I know this game's tied at 2 right now. Ties are something that the Gatemen have been used to over the past couple of days. That's why you need Roberts to give you a little more tonight.
Kasser over at third. High throw. Thank God Sable's tall. 1 out.
Well, that's why out of the 3 catchers on this roster, McIver, Sable, and Anchia, I mean, he's been the guy that's playing at first the most often. He's tall, and because he is a catcher, he has an innate ability to get low and pick balls out of the dirt. That's just what he's about. So, a rare defensive player that can go high and low for you, and Sable's been doing a great job at first this season.
The only pitcher last year for the Gatemen to go 6 innings was Nick Sprangel, and that was in a playoff situation versus Bourne on August 6th. He went 6 innings. So no one this season has gone 6 so far, and that's the reason why pitching coach Jim Law has that pitch count.
Yeah. Going around the Cape right now, Jacob. Hyannis has a 9-7 lead over Cotuit in the bottom of the 8th, so we might see the 5th place team in the West upset the 1st place team.
Aiello takes a pitch outside, 1-1.
We have Yarmouth Dennis, a 4-0 lead over the Brewster Whitecaps. In the East, doesn't affect the Gatemen too much. That one has gone final. 5 o'clock start time in YD.
Aiello, Kasser. That throw, Sable has to stretch out for, so he reaches up for out number 1. He stretches for number 2.
And, when you stretch, the height makes a bit of a difference. Baseball, like most ball sports games, it's all about inches. It's, everything's about just the very slight margins, and Blake Sable provides you a little more help over there at first. Falmouth, they lost last night 1-0. They're up 4-0 on the Bourne Braves in the top of the 6th. Those two very close, 2nd and 3rd in the West Division. And Orleans holds a 2-0 lead over the Harwich Mariners in the top of the 5th.
Nick Patton is 1 for 1. He singled and scored in the 5th. Part of a 2-run inning for Chatham. Rips this one foul.
And needless to say, that 2-run inning is the only time that the Chatham Anglers have put up runs in this ball game. So Griffin Roberts doing a good job throughout his other 4 innings, making sure that he's limiting this Chatham lineup to as few pitches, as few batters as possible.
0-2. Nothing you could do about it. 7 strikeouts for Griffin Roberts. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. So through 6, Roberts has struck out 7, and this game still tied up at 2. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
John Topa, Blake Sable, Tristan Pompey for the Wareham Gatemen in the bottom of the sixth. Coming up, Jacob Toby along with Connor Federico, Claudia Chikamian, Matt Feld, our beat writer, and Matt Weaselthair, our producer, on hand tonight for a beautiful night at Spillane Field. Austin Bergner still in for the Chatham Anglers. We've got a pitcher's duel here.
Yeah, and, you know, if Bergner can get through this inning, both starting pitchers gone through 6. You don't see that very often in the Cape League, specifically in games that the Wareham Gatemen play. Now, we talked about Roberts being the first Gateman this summer to go 6 innings. And it's just a testament to how much faith and trust that Jim Lawler and Don Sneddon have in him, having that slider, having that fastball, having his control and his confidence.
This one skips to the backstop, 2-1.
Roberts through 6 innings, only threw 69 pitches. So maybe it was probably more about the pitch count being low than it was, you know, between the 5th or the 6th. Coach Lawler saying they want to be between that 60-70 range for starters.
Count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
John Tope is always a guy you want leading off an inning. He can slap a base hit the other way. Can use his speed to get him infield base hits.
2-2 sent foul. Coming into tonight, he was tied 7th in the league in hits with 26.
And among the league leaders in batting average.
Of course, tied 4th.
He's got a really good eye. And that has helped him in terms of getting hits because, you know, you don't want to, when you swing, you don't want to swing aimlessly at the ball.
Nice eye there.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example of it. Maybe if that was Griffin Roberts' slider, that one would have crossed the inside part of the plate. But Austin Bergner just can't get that pitch to come on in.
Topa third on the team in walks with 7. 3-2. Sent out to center. Going back is Coppins, but he's under it.
Can count 3 or 4 balls tonight that probably would have been gone at Chatham's Veterans Field. Instead, we're playing at Spillane, where we haven't seen a homer since Jake Anchia hit one just about a week ago.
Austin Bergner was drafted in the 38th round by the Red Sox in 2016. He faces Blake Sable here, who was busy at first base back in that last half inning.
I don't think we talk about enough how Blake Sable is related to Troy Polamalu.
No, we don't.
It's pretty cool. I mean,
we start now.
To have your second cousin, a USC football legend, very famous household name among Pittsburgh football fans, among all football fans, really.
Good little nugget to know about Sable.
Little, you know, USC guys. I guess it runs in the family.
Bergner's curveball. Fools Sable there, 2-1. Frankie Polari, the scout, the writer for D1 Baseball, the lead writer, talked about Bergner's curveball. As you see there, it fools Sable again. He says it needs better extension and tighten up the rotation. It's looked pretty good here tonight.
It's his put-away pitch, and the velocity is so far away from what his fastball is that it can really fool hitters.
2-2 pitch from the righty. Sent out to left center field. Under it is Stowers for out number 2.
Mr. Polari, though, we had the pleasure of talking to him on our radio broadcast at Falmouth. I mean, he's a great scout. He runs a great program, D1 baseball scouting in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And, you know, when you're a Cape Cod Baseball League player, just simply you're going to have a lot expected out of you. So it's a good curveball, but I think, you know, Frankie Polari and the rest of the D1 baseball staff, they're always looking at what these players can do better.
Pompey at the plate. Talked about Bergner's last start where he went 6 innings and struck out 6. Polari said that the feel for his secondary offerings and the life on the fastball was there. He had conviction, command, and it's been improved since his last outing. And he's looked really good tonight.
Yeah, and I don't think Mr. Player is here tonight, but maybe this is a game he's got his eye on.
Could be watching the broadcast for all we know. Pompey finds himself on base. Pompey actually was written about by Polari Sunday by Polari, and he said that the ball jumps off Pompey's bat in batting practice like very few players in this league.
Well, I mean, it's popping off his bat tonight. Not for any home runs or anything, but 2 singles, a 2 for 2 and a walk night. Good for Pompey.
So a pitching change coming here. Austin Bergner is done for the night. We'll take a short break. Be right back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org. Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care.
The Fuller Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Mr. Brian Clue and Smartco Services, located in Taunton, Mass, for being the official sponsors of the Gatemen Player Development Program. The Player Development Program aims to improve both the players' and interns' skills and prepares them for a career in professional baseball. Again, a sincere thank you to Brian Clue and Smartco Services. So we got a new pitcher on the hill. Austin Bergner is done. 5 1/3, 2 earned runs, couple walks and a strikeout. Rodney Hutchison comes in.
Yeah, Rodney Hutchison out of North Carolina, averaging about a strikeout per inning here on the Cape League so far this summer.
5 2/3 Bergner went. Pompey goes down to second. The throw is not in time. Just what you like to see there, his first of the season.
He got a really good jump on that pitch, and I think these Gatemen runners, they have learned so much in this summer working with Don Sneddon, you know, the small ball approach where you want to see guys bunt and steal bases. They've really been working on base running and taking jumps, but also thinking about the mental side of the game, you know. A pitcher just came in the middle of the inning. Take advantage of that. He's not going to think about you at first.
Jaron Duran's the batter. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Pitch sails in for strike, 0-2.
And 2 outs, by the way. I mean, this is a great situation for Jaron Duran, but he's now fallen into an 0-2 count.
Hutchison delivers from that right side, kind of a slower release. Here comes the 0-2. Bouncing, and nice job by Pena behind the plate.
Yeah, with Pompey's speed, it doesn't matter much whether he's on second or third, and a base hit to the outfield will score him either way. You know, Jacob, a lot of twos on the scoreboard here right now. You know, 2-2, 2 strikes, 2 outs, but nothing tops last night where we saw ones all across that scoreboard. 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the 11th inning. The Gatemen have done the unthinkable over the past 2 nights.
Hutchison's 1-2. Duran stays alive.
Yeah, really good job by Duran. He saw that ball was coming back in towards the plate, just stuck his bat out at it. That's all he wanted to do, foul it off. You don't want to put a pitch like that in play. It could really be to your disadvantage.
Hutchison is the tallest pitcher on the staff here for Chatham at 6'6". Him and Adam Wolf are both 6'6".
Nothing like the 6'9" Fitz Stadler or the 6'7" Grant Wolfram.
Hutchinson will take a moment.
It seems as if the Chatham pitching staff is a bit on the shorter side. They do have a pitcher who stands 5'10". Most guys are around 6'1", 6'2".
Pompey's the runner at second. There are 2 outs. Here comes the 1-2. Outside. Hutchinson on the season. This is his 4th appearance, all out of the bullpen. 1.50 ERA. In 6 innings of work, he has struck out 3 batters and walked 3. Two on the ground. Second baseman grounds out to second baseman. So Durant can't bring Pompey across. We are still tied up at 2. We head to the 7th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is all about family, and it's all about fun. Friendly's is all about family and fun and is proud to sponsor the 2017 baseball season. Friendly's, life with extra sprinkles.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
New pitcher for the Gatemen, Griffin Roberts, is done for the night. He goes 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. 7 strikeouts, no walks. Jordan Britton now coming on for his 2nd appearance for Wareham.
I'm so excited. I mean, you know, the Gatemen have so many hyped up pitchers coming into this summer. Britton's one of them. He replaces a guy who's gotten a lot of hype in Griffin Roberts, goes 6 innings, only giving up 1 earned run. I know the scoreboard reads 2-2, but one came in on an error. And, you know, Britton, we've seen him once against Bourne where he went 3 scoreless, had a really good performance. He's really got it all, despite not pitching a ton for Oregon State.
This is the catcher, Pena, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Singled and scored back in the 5th.
And now with the left arm of Britton up, I mean, all these righty hitters are now going to see that breaking ball move towards them instead of away from them. So it changes your eye, changes what you're looking for. It is a bit of an advantage.
Popped up in the infield, and Chia will Now let it just drop. Sable was coming in. Some miscommunication there in the infield, and Pena reaches.
Yeah, the Gatemen should, you know, that's a tough play for Anchia and Sable. I think Anchia just lost it a bit. Sable too far away. The Gatemen should be lucky that Pena isn't on second. He could have easily been there if he was running it out, and that's what you're always taught to do as a kid. But here in the Cape League, you sometimes you don't expect errors to happen, and that's a tough play.
That'll go down as a hit. Stowers takes strike one.
Well, I mean, the reason it's not an error, it's because, you know, who do you charge it to? Nobody's glove got on it.
Can't charge it to both.
No.
Out to left on a liner. Topa's right there. For a quick moment, thought about going all the way over to first.
We haven't seen Topa's arm tested yet, really, out there in left field. You know, usually, you know, ordinary baseball sense says that the strongest arm goes in right, second strongest in center, weakest in left. And that's not a knock against Topa, but Dodson has an incredible arm. Stephen Kwan, we didn't know about the arm until last night.
But it's there.
Oh, yeah.
Relat, RBI single back in the fifth.
My call on that play from Stephen Kwan to third in the 11th inning, I was not expecting it at all. Squealed like a little girl.
Oh, this one right into the Chatham dugout. Seems to be everything is okay.
Yeah. Dugout, interesting here at Spillane.
Is there a rule that the home team has to be on the first base side or the third base side?
There's no rule, but
at least not on the Cape.
There's only, I don't think there's a rule in the maybe there is, just because you have to sell seats and certain people want seats in certain areas. I do not know if there's a rule at the higher levels.
Checking over on Pena. Yeah, definitely here on the Cape, there's some teams with their home dugout down the first base line, some down the third base line. Relat pops this one up in foul territory. Sable going over and makes the catch. Noah Zavalis and Fitz Stadler were trying to get out of the way as one was coming to the dugout, the other to the bullpen.
Well, they didn't want a Steve Bartman moment right there, and they did get out of the way. Sable makes the catch. Good awareness by him. He had a good jump on that ball. You know, when you play at a ballpark enough times, even though it's only been about 10 to 12 home games for the Gatemen, it's been 12 home games for the Gatemen. Tonight's the 13th.
Coppins out of Northeastern tries to bunt it down that first baseline. That's bunting for a hit right there.
Yeah, with 2 outs, you're not sacking, you're not trying to sacrifice bunt. Coppins has the speed for sure in the 9 spot. Taking advantage of Blake Sable having to hold the runner over at first. Can't get a good jump on it.
Nice breaking ball. And you can hear the fans love it.
They love it. I mean, it's different because, you know, now, you know, Roberts' slider, you're not going to try to get swings and misses in the dirt. Now with Britton's curveball, that's all he's going to be trying to do in order to get hitters to chase. So both strikeout guys, but Britton more of a strikeout swinging on a bad pitch when he's up in the count, as opposed to Roberts, who will try to sneak that slider in on the inside part of the plate to a right-handed batter. Or even try to go backdoor on a lefty.
Emphatic crowd tonight.
Yeah. They love their Gatemen here in Wareham.
1-2. That was a breaking ball that didn't quite get over the hump.
Yeah, and even if it had, it would have been a really dangerous pitch. Coppins could have hit that a long, long way. That's what you have to be careful with that big curveball if you're Britton. Do not leave it too high in the zone for someone to blast out of Spillane.
2-2. Tried the breaking ball up top.
Now 3-2, 2 outs in a tie ball game. Intense moment. Here's some police sirens off in the distance. Hope everything's all right. Hope they're not headed this way.
3-2. Runner was going. Doesn't matter. Coppins walks.
And now you have runners on first and second with 2 outs, and now you put the leadoff. You put the leadoff guy in this position. In this position, Britton's got to get out of it though. These are all his responsibility. Facing his first real trouble in a while.
Josh Shaw is 0 for 3 on the night. Right to Baird on one pitch to end the inning. This game's still tied up at 2. We are off to the 7th inning stretch presented by Eastern Propane and Oil, proud to sponsor the Gatemen with locations on and off the Cape. More Gatemen baseball after this on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Want to hear more about today's game, players, and breaking sports updates? Then download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store and tune to this station. It's live. It's local FM radio wherever you go. The Next Radio app. Get it today. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
The head coach of the Chatham Anglers for now his 25th season has been John Schiffner. Schiffner, he's known as Schiff around the CCBL. He calls the Cape League the great equalizer. I mean, this guy has been ingrained in the Cape Cod Baseball League for quite some time. He began his career as a player, played 74 to 76 for the Harwich Mariners. That was the start of his long tenure here with the Cape League, moved to an assistant coaching position with them in 1977. And it's just been a ride for him ever since. Following year, he began the first of 2 stints as a Chatham assistant coach, then returned in 1990 as an assistant coach. He was named the manager July 7th, 1993, and has been there ever since. Ben Baird is the hitter. He takes ball 1.
Yeah, and guys like Coach Schiffner are, the reason why this Cape League is so great. And, Coach Don Sneddon for the Gatemen, I know it's only his first season managing, but he's taught these players a lot. And I just watching him in practice, I think he's an absolutely outstanding teacher of the game. I think he loves the game of baseball. I think he's trying to spread that. Just like Coach Schiffner in his long career, he's had a lot of different experiences with baseball at a lot of different levels. Coach Sneddon, maybe a long time down the road, could have a similar career.
1-1, chop back to Hutchison, and retires Baird for out number 1. Schiffner took over the Anglers. It was the A's back then, Chatham A's. They were a last place team. Schiffner then wins 16 out of the last 23 games. They finished first place. And that's what made him resign, and now he's been here that long.
So why is the CCBL the great equalizer?
That's a great question for him.
Equalizing what? I mean, this is a league that for a long time has been known as the best collegiate summer league in the country. It's been, fighting with the Alaska League and the Northwoods League as of recently. But you talk to people outside of baseball, and they know about the Cape League. They know that, you know, for amateurs, for college guys, this is the place you want to be. This means you got a good shot at making it.
Quan's up at bat, takes ball 1 and 2. Some former players under shift: Mike Lowell, Chris Bryant, Matt Harvey, Jason Bay, Kyle Seeger,
Andrew Miller.
Interesting story about Andrew Miller that we talked about with John Garner on the broadcast a little bit early on tonight. 2-2 pitch. Sent foul. That's a rocket. And that hits off the school. The story is that Schiffner was asked what his favorite game ever was here on the Cape. He answers with the Andrew Miller story. The Andrew Miller game, rather, in which he retires all 12 batters he faces via the strikeout.
Mm-hmm.
This was only through 4 innings, mind you. And at Chatham, there has been issues with fog in the past.
Right.
That game gets canceled due to fog. Shaw will handle it at second for out number 2. That game gets canceled for fog. The game never exists statistically in the CCBL because it didn't hit the 5-inning mark. So 12 strikeouts by Andrew Miller technically never happened. But Schiff says that's his favorite game he ever saw.
Well, 2004, the year that Miller was here was, I believe, the inaugural year of the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Current Syracuse Crunch broadcaster Dan Duva on the call for that game. He has archives of it.
Dotson up the middle, but Relat handles that one to end the inning. The Gatemen go 1-2-3. We head to the 8th. It is still 2-2. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
What former Gateman would you choose to win a home run derby? Well, Kyle Schwarber, Colton Shaver, Tyler Horn, George Springer were the choices, and Kyle Schwarber has won. 57% of Gateman fans voted Schwarber. Top of the 8th here at Spillane. Jordan Britton on for his second inning of work. He'll face Jacob Olson, Shea Langoliers, and Johnny Aiello. So Schwarber is first. Coming in second is Springer with 23%. Colton Shaver and Tyler Horn.
Still waiting on the start of the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby. I mean, the way this one's going, the game might end before it starts.
I got that on DVR, so I'll be watching it when I get home.
I have jinxed a lot of things this year. I think I just need to stop talking. I knocked on all the wood that we have here in this press box.
One ball and 2 strikes to Jacob Olson. Britton's 1-2. Sent out to left. So a leadoff single for Olson. Going back to John Schiffner for a moment, he was recently named to the Connecticut High School Coaches Association's Hall of Fame. I mean, this guy's got pedigree, man.
Yeah. I mean, just a name known throughout baseball, just because of all these players he's helped develop, the kind of program he runs here. I know Chatham's only in 4th place right now, but they've been playing better baseball than their record says.
And that's all it takes, 4th place. Just ask Scott Pickler of YD.
Mm-hmm.
Langoliers stepping in. And the big news that came out a couple weeks ago is that Schiffner, this is his last go-around. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're talking about him so much. That's why we will when the Chatham Anglers come back here for one more game in July.
Would be his last time at Spillane as a coach. Langoliers tied 3rd in the league in home runs with 4. He's also 4th in RBIs with 17. He is dangerous. Almost a bad throw that sailed over past Sable, but Sable jumps out and gets it on the pickoff attempt of Jacob Olsen. One player we haven't seen yet out of Chatham was not in the starting lineup today, Jake Palomaki. A returner from last year who did pretty well in that doubleheader versus the Gatemen about a month ago. Palomaki tied 3rd in the league in walks with 15. He's been their top of the order guy, whether he hits 1 or 2, 3 sometimes even.
Yeah, I mean, plate discipline, that's how you'll get a spot in the top of the order, how you'll get more at-bats and more plate appearances, I guess, for a guy that walks a lot. Probably has fewer at-bats than the rest of the team.
Olsen at first, Langoliers at the plate. Britton steps off again.
I just have to do a quick shout-out to the Hamptons League. They just finished up their All-Star game. 14-5, the North wins tonight.
2-1 from Britton. Paints the outside part.
A player, Cam Climo, I guess his name is. I don't know. I haven't been following it. But he became the 2nd West Hampton Aviator to win the Hamptons League Home Run Derby. I know you don't care, but I feel like I have to say it. I miss that place. But Cape League, it's the best. It's the best of the best.
Britton's 2-2. Sent foul.
You can keep that foul ball, courtesy of attorney Glenn Hannington and his daughter Tevis.
So Britton didn't pitch a lot at Oregon State. He comes here, he's going to have the door wide open.
Well, I mean, he need, a lot of these guys come in and they just need a little bit of, they need a few innings just to clean up some things, work on some things with Coach Lawler. You know, for Britton, just like you said, the door's wide open for him. He can take advantage of all the work that he wants to get. Just Oregon State, such a stacked pitching staff, didn't see a lot of time.
22 innings, that's it, out of the bullpen.
Not related to his level of talent at all. It's way more than 22 innings.
Had a 2.46 ERA. His freshman season, he threw more. 30 1/3. 3-2. Good contact made by Langoliers out to center. Going over there, and that one leaves the yard. Langoliers with his 5th home run of the season. Wow. And Chatham's going to take the lead here at Spillane Field on an absolute bomb from Shea Langoliers. Can you believe it?
Not really. I mean, I guess that's baseball. It really just takes one swing of the bat to change a game drastically. The Chatham Anglers, they were tied with the Gatemen. Now they have a 2-run lead. Langoliers hitting in that 3 spot tonight, and rightfully so. He's a great hitter. Just saw a high pitch that was hung up by Britton out, on the outside part of the plate, and Langoliers goes to right center. Great piece of hitting.
415 feet. He got all of it. Aiello swings and misses on the first pitch. Thought Kwon would have a chance out there in center field, but he was against the wall, and it just left the yard.
Well, I mean, for these Gatemen outfielders, they probably don't have a ton of practice going up against the wall. You know, here at Spillane, it's like you run until you finally hit the wall, if it ever comes. That's how far back they are. Yeah, 3-2 count, too. Britain was so close to putting Langoliers away. Now we have a very, very different ball game.
How does this affect you confidence-wise?
Well, you finally give up some runs.
Oh, this one takes a bad hop over Kasser and Baird. Aiello now on first.
Yeah, Jordan Britton just can't catch a break right now. I think he's pitching pretty well. He's just hung up some balls high in the zone. Langoliers just took him for a ride. Just made one mistake. And that one, his home field, puts a hurting on him right there. It could have been an easy ground ball for Kasser. Nothing he could have done about it. It goes straight over his head.
That one's going to be ruled a hit. Took that nasty hop over Kasser and Baird. Jim Lawler out talking to Britton right now with the entire infield. What can they say to him to kind of get him up a little bit?
Well, you have the possibility for a double play ball here if you can get a ground ball through the middle infield or even to Kyle Kasser over there at third. All these Gatemen, they're great defensively. And that's what Griffin Roberts just used to his advantage. I know he struck out 7, but he got plenty of ground ball outs. Trust your defense. The Gatemen, they have not turned a double play tonight, but they're certainly capable of it.
So Langoliers hits his 5th of the season. 19 RBIs now on the year. That's good for 3rd in the CCBL. He's a slugger.
Yeah, I mean, that meeting was really important because you have another slugger, Nick Patton, who's right here.
949 in attendance tonight at Spillane Field. Patton takes a first pitch strike. Patton came into tonight tied 4th in the league in strikeouts with 24. He has one tonight. Now he's the sole leader with 25. And the runner's going to go to second. The throw from Anchia won't be in time. Skips into shallow left center field. No advancement from Aiello. And now a runner in scoring position here for the Anglers.
Yeah, good job by Anchia keeping that one in front of him. It was definitely a tough pitch to block for Anchia. Britton throws a wild pitch there.
So no outs here in the top of the 8th.
Double play ball's off too now. That's a good comeback pitch from Britton. I've always wondered what it's like as a pitcher. You know, you get into some trouble, you give up a 2-run blast, you get a ground ball that turns into a base hit. You know, how you can come back and continue to throw great pitches, it just speaks to, you know, Britton's strength mentally and his perseverance. Pitchers have to be so mentally headstrong.
Patton awaits the 1-2. Sends it up. Sable's coming over. Makes the catch. This time the Gatemen retire that infield fly.
Yeah. It's tough here in the lights and the dark, and it goes back and forth. You start this game during the day. He threw a really good pitch right there to Patton. Patton's barrel of the bat was where that pitch started. Thankfully for Britton, the curveball had plenty of action on it. Ended up more towards Patton's hands and the small part of the bat as opposed to the barrel.
Pena out to right center field. It's going to fall. They'll stop the runner, Aiello, at third. Now runners at the corners with 1 out.
Yeah, I think Schiffner, the third base coach and manager for Chatham, had every intention of waving the runner Patton around third until he realized Tanner Dotson picked the ball up and held him over there at first.
Scouting report, Tanner Dotson will throw you out.
Wherever you are, wherever you're going, no matter how fast you are.
Stowers, the left fielder, an 0 for 3 night, has lined out twice and struck out looking. This one past Baird off his glove. And now it's past Topa. Stowers to second. Aiello scores, and it's now 5-2 Chatham.
Yeah, that'll more than likely be a base hit that turns into an E7 that allows the runners to move from first and second to second and third.
That will be a hit and then an E7.
Now Coach Lawler wants to talk to Britton. He'll hand him the ball.
Well, we're going to take a short break. Chatham has scored 3 runs here thanks to a 2-run shot from Shea Langoliers. And then that mishap in the infield from Ben Baird allows another run to score. 5-2. Take a short break.
It's back. The 2017 Friendlies Cape League All-Star Game will be played at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Mark the date on your calendar, Saturday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., but the gates open at 2 p.m. One highlight will be the home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Be sure to buy your tickets now right here at the merchandise stand. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support our Wareham Gatemen.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information. Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today. Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.
Jordan Britton struggling here in the 8th. Pitching coach Jim Lawler makes the change. He goes an inning and a third, 6 hits, 3 earned, a walk, and a strikeout, rather no strikeouts. It is Aaron Hernandez at a Texas AU Corpus Christi. The sophomore just finished up his sophomore season. Did not pitch in 2017, was ineligible. And making his Cape League debut tonight for the Wareham Gatemen. The Gatemen trailing the Anglers 5-2. Ralat is at the plate with runners at second and third. And 1 out in the inning. He swings at the first pitch, sends it foul. Ralat, an RBI single in the 5th. Part of a 1 for 3 night. Sophia Hernandez coming in with runners at second and third. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, you have the 8 and 9 guys coming up. You have 1 out, so if you retire 8 and 9, you're out of the inning and out of the jam. However, Ralat, he has an RBI single already in this one. The bottom of the lineup has produced.
Check swing on the 1-1. Call the ball.
But you have to believe that as a Cape Cod Baseball League player, you know that you belong here, no matter when you were added, for what reason, you know, what your numbers at school say, or a lack thereof of numbers. Hernandez knows he belongs on this stage. Right there, Ralat probably thought he should have had a 3-run home run. Fastball straight down the center of the plate. He was a little bit upset with himself for being late and fouling that one off.
Sure, he wanted to send it out to center farther than Langoliers, but don't know if that would be possible.
I'd be surprised if we saw that again tonight.
2-2. Slicing foul.
Yeah, it's a good fastball in a 2-2 count. You wonder what he's going to do. He just threw 2 straight fastballs. Time to see what other pitches Hernandez has in his arsenal. What he can do.
The 2-2 to Relot. Broken bat. Past the dive of Baird. 1 run's going to come. Schiffner waving around the second. 2 more here in the 8th. 7-2 Chatham.
Well, isn't that the risk you run if you bring the infield in? That's a routine ground ball to Baird if he's at his normal position. In that situation, you're already down 3 runs. I think you do have to bring the infield in there. I'm not saying they should have done anything different. But because the infield's in, that becomes 2 runs, the ball that gets by Baird and into the outfield instead of only 1 run. You know, the Gatemen, they only have 6 outs to get 5 runs at this point.
Mason Coppins swings at the first pitch.
By the way, that's a 3 RBI night for the 8 hitter in the Chatham lineup. That can't be the theme of the night for the Gatemen, giving up RBIs and hits to the lower parts of the Chatham lineup.
3rd straight single lit up by Britton in this inning. 5th overall and a home run.
Yeah, really tough outing for him. I think we've expected more from him. Those 2 runs should be charged to him as well, even though Hernandez gave them up.
Swing and a miss for Coppins. He strikes out for out number 2. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang and Zafaris in Bullard.
Nearly 1,000 people wanted to see the Gatemen get a win tonight. It's going to be a tough task for them now. You know, they've played 3 consecutive games that are very tight going into the later innings. This is definitely the one that has gotten away from the Gatemen. And you wonder if it's the fatigue over the course of how many nights playing so many innings. With no off day in sight, Wareham, they really need to figure out how they're going to get it together. If you can't win tonight, you fall to 10-13-1. You still have a little breathing room over Hyannis.
Pitch misses outside. 2-1.
I mean, you know, if you can get a playoff spot, if you can be one of those 4 teams from your division, you have a chance to win the whole thing. Obviously, in the 5th spot, you don't.
2-1 fouled off, becomes 2-2.
And, you know, while winning isn't everything here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, it's really about player development and exposure. Nobody likes to lose. You know, learning to win makes you a better ball player. It sort of makes you a stronger person. Learn and work with your teammates.
2-2 up the middle. Baird will touch second base and finally retire the side. Not before a 5-run inning for the Chatham Anglers. They take a 7-2 lead. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 8th with Chatham up big right now.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
It's back. The 2017 Friendlies Cape League All-Star Game will be played at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Mark the date on your calendar, Saturday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., but the gates open at 2 p.m. One highlight will be the home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Be sure to buy your tickets now right here at the merchandise stand. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support our Wareham Gatemen.
A 5-run 8th inning for the Chatham Anglers. They now lead it 7-2. Gatemen Bats, they only got 6 left outs to come back from this 5-run deficit.
Well, you have a guy in Kyle Kasser stepping up to the dish right now. He's certainly capable of getting a leadoff base hit or even something more. You know, now the Gatemen, you can't be thinking about the big swing. You just got to get a single and rely on the guys behind you to do the work as well.
Hutchison still on the hill. Delivers the first pitch strike to Kasser. You know why today was a tough day coming into the ballpark for Wareham?
I can think of plenty of reasons.
But you don't think about this reason I'm about to tell you. Coming into today, this is the first time that this Wareham Gatemen baseball team did not lead the league in least walks. As a pitching staff,
I'm shocked. Who took it?
Orleans.
Oh. They're really grinding my gears over there, those Firebirds. Their 10-game win streaks and their outstanding hitting and pitching.
Griffin Roberts didn't walk a batter. Britton walked one. We'll see where the lead stands after tonight. But yeah, Wareham had that lead for the whole season. Pitching staff control was not an issue.
How did that even happen? Weren't we just talking about how the Gatemen went on like a 21-inning streak without giving up a walk? They've maybe given up 3 in their last 3 games.
It happened.
I guess. Maybe someone just miscounted.
Hutchison's 2-2. Up and away. It's going to be Kasser and Chia and Topa. The middle of your lineup right here. This is what you want.
Yeah, but at the same time, these are guys who are going to be taking big swings.
Kasser does just that, one gone.
It's not the approach you have to have. You have to have an approach of slap it out to the opposite field, pull one down the line for a base hit, get on base any way you can. That was a home run swing from Kyle Kasser. And 1 run is not going to get the job done for the Gatemen. They need 5, and now 5 outs left to do it.
And Chia is 1 for 3 today. Singled in the first. Popped out to second base in the third. And this time he gets hit. You got to run her on any way you can.
That's what we said back in the first inning when Tanner Dodson got hit by a pitch, but was unable to score, was left stranded on third. That's also been a theme in these close games for the Gatemen over the past couple of days. Stranding runners on third.
And they're so close, 90 feet.
This Gatemen team is really good. There's not a lot of consistency. That's really the main struggle. It's the inconsistency. What Gatemen team are you going to see on a given night? Is it going to be a 7-2 losing effort to Chatham? Is it going to be an 11-0 victory? Is it going to be a 13-2 victory?
A 9-9 tie, perhaps?
They don't win the close games. Instead, they tie or they lose. It's sort of frustrating because they have the talent. I mean, this is a stacked team, 1 through 9. Even on the bench tonight, you sit guys like Bonfield and Willie McIver.
John Topa at the plate, guy who sat last night, back in the lineup tonight. Tough chopper to the shortstop Relot. Chatham gets out of the inning with a double play, 6-4-3. No runs for the Gatemen. We're headed to the 9th, and Chatham up 7-2. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
All-Star Game weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Varitek, Bill Lee, Nancy Carrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Hernandez's night is done. Will Neely comes on out of Tennessee.
Jacob Olsen from South Carolina.
I can't help but laugh. Claudia Chakamian just was our PA announcer, our sideline reporter. Where is she? She's in the booth. She's not on the sideline.
Booth reporter, we'll call her. Should we have her on?
How did it feel? We'll have to ask her how it felt. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jacob Olsen. This is Will Neely. We last saw him versus Falmouth.
Yes.
And now we welcome in the third guest of tonight, Claudia Chakamian.
Hello.
How did you feel doing the PA?
You know, it was a really great time. Not my first time doing it. I got to do it about a week and a half ago against YD.
And I wasn't here for it, so that was the first time I experienced it.
It's a great time. Got to announce another South Carolina Gamecock. You know, got to represent my school. And Jacob's giving me this look, if you guys could see it.
Nice pitch from Neely, swing and a miss. Neely just finished up his sophomore season with Tennessee. Connor has left the booth.
I guess I'm on now.
Claudia. It's been a rotating seat next to me tonight. We had John Garner, Director of Broadcasting. We had Tom Crane, Director of everything.
You know, I don't think I can be as good as Tom Crane, though.
And we now have Claudia Chakamian, our sideline reporter / one-batter PA announcer.
/ color commentator now.
/ color analyst.
Get a sideline reporter who can do it all, right, Jacob?
Hey, you got to do it all. That's what they say these days. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch is inside, and the count was actually full, so Olsen will head down to first on a walk. He's had a decent night. He singled and scored back in the 8th. Now he walks. Impressions on the game tonight?
Not looking too good.
No.
So, but the good news is the Gatemen are, I guess, they're down by 5, but it doesn't look like we're going to go into extra innings tonight. So that's kind of a nice impression.
I wouldn't be surprised if that now happens. Langoliers is the batter. Last time he was up, he sent one out there to center and gone. 2-run shot.
Good hit.
Gatemen have 3 outs left to deal with in the lineup to try to come back. Right now, Will Neely in walks the first batter he sees. For the Gatemen, it'll be Sable, Pompey, and Duran, unless Don Sneddon elects to pinch hit for one of those guys.
I've liked what I've seen out of Pompey today. In the past few games, he seems to be getting his swing back and getting those balls into the gap.
He's 2 for 2. He also stole a base. This one out to right field. Going back is Dodson. Dodson will make the catch.
Great catch.
Tanner Dodson has shown what he can do out in right field. And he probably robs Langoliers of a hit.
He's another one of those that can do it all. Throws missiles from the outfield to home plate to save some runs. We've seen him do that. And phenomenal on the mound as well.
Yeah, he throws 95 on the mound. You might as well throw from 95 out there from right to home. Aiello singled and scored back in that tough 8th inning for Jordan Britton. 3 earned runs he was tagged for, 5 total scored that inning. Aiello takes ball 1. Of course, we saw Aiello last summer with the Chatham Anglers. 189, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. Batted .285 during the playoffs.
Nice seeing him up in the first inning against his teammate Griffin Roberts up at Wake Forest.
That must be fun.
Wonder what it's like when you're playing in a summer league and you have to play against your teammate. Like, do you think you want to get him out, or you
of course.
feel sentimental, or what?
No sentimental feelings. You're on different teams. You want to get him out. This one down the left field line, foul. Aiello turned on it.
I don't know. I've never played in a summer league baseball team, so I wouldn't know.
Neither have I. Don't plan on it.
What, you don't want to make that your backup plan in life?
There is no. Neely's got a 2-1 count. Aiello swings and misses. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Jacob Toby alongside, not Connor Federico, it's Claudia Chikamian, our sideline reporter. Federico's gone missing. He's gone missing now 3 times tonight.
He was just tired of you.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
That is not true at all. Claudia has been giving the boot off the broadcast.
Oh, wow. That took a quick turn.
I mean, Jacob, I could never be sick of you. We have such good broadcasts together.
3-2 fouled off of Aiello. He felt that one.
I think Claudia did a good job as the color analyst. She gives us great sideline reports. But in my time, just sort of roaming around the ballpark again, Coach Schiffner for Chatham, very impressed by Tanner Dodson's catch out there in right field. You have to remember, it's not just in the scouting report for Tanner Dodson. He did it to them at Veterans Field in Chatham.
In center.
In center field. That the first time we saw him have an 8-3 double play.
Neely will walk his second batter of the inning. Aiello down to first, Olsen down to second. 2 on, 1 out for Nick Patton.
First baseman, number 12, Nick Patton.
Yeah, Nick Patton, not a guy you want to mess with. This is, again, starting to become the part of the order where Chatham had a lot of success back in the 8th. Or back in the 8th, sorry. Gatemen down to their final 3 outs.
Patton comes up with a couple runners on base, but there is a double play threat. Duran's playing it. Popped up again in the infield. Baird make the catch.
You can hear the infield fly rule being called by the umpire Joseph Peters over there on the left side. We haven't seen that a lot. I mean, it's...
Did we see it yesterday? Or was it the day before?
I don't recall having an infield fly rule called.
There was one a couple days ago, I believe. I'll have to get confirmation on that.
Okay.
I do remember one.
I mean, just because, infield pop-ups happen all the time, but the situation is very specific.
Pena at the plate. He did not go around, says first base umpire Nick DeMarchi.
Sort of crazy that just an inning ago, this scoreboard read 2-2.
I was just thinking the same thing. An inning ago, the feeling in the ballpark was very different. Yes, It was a tie, but now it's a 5-run lead. That's a lot to ask of your offense in the 9th inning.
I almost can't believe it, just because the Gatemen have, a couple weeks ago we said in one of our pre-games, the key for the Gatemen is not giving up the big inning. And they really haven't done it for the most part of the last 3 or 4 days.
Well, they did it tonight. This one's going to be past the dive of Baird at short. Olsen's going to come in to score. And it's now 8-2 Chatham.
Yeah, and the Anglers' lead continues to grow. Ben Baird's had a tough night over there at shortstop, and that he hasn't made a bad play. I mean, he just
not at all.
He keeps getting these ground balls that are so close, and he dives on the spalling gravel that it hurts. It hurts a little bit. It can take a little bit of life out of you. Baird's an outstanding defensive shortstop. Just so many of these balls barely out of his reach.
Stowers to right. Schiffner will hold the runner. Dodson guns it in immediately. Schiffner was emphatic about that one.
That's the 3rd time he's done that tonight on a ground ball or a fly ball to Tanner Dodson. Held up a runner at 3rd. He's smiling and laughing about it now. A very split second call right at the end. He told his runner to hold up. This league is very scared of Tanner Dodson and right.
Ralot comes up. A big night out of the number 8 hitter. 3 RBIs, 2 singles, and a 2-for-4 night. And now he comes up with bases loaded. There are 2 outs, though, so the play can be to any base.
Neely just needs to get an out here. I mean, he would have liked to a while ago. We've seen him struggle a little bit in terms of control. And then when he does put one down the center of the plate, he gets burned. That was a really good pitch right there. Yeah, his defense, just like you said, Jacob, has a lot of options where they can get this 3rd out with the bases loaded. You just have to get it.
He gets it. Neely strikes out Ralot to end the inning. Chatham adds 1 more run. They lead at 8-2. Gatemen, 3 outs left. Try to come back and win this one. They're down 6.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape Cod League for 17 seasons, conducts baseball training, tournaments, and showcases at over 600 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players aged 8 to 18. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare. Expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Blake Sable will start it off for the Wareham Gatemen, followed by Pompey and Duran. They need 6 runs in order to come back and at least tie this one up. Chatham Anglers lead this one. Hutchison still on the hill. Swing and a miss from Sable. Broken bat, Hutchison. Easy out.
Yeah, 1 down. 2 more to go for the Anglers. Have a feeling that Gatemen might not have a comeback in them tonight. You know, I know it's a loss, but there's something to be said about playing 23 consecutive innings and now just sort of playing 9. It helps your bullpen a little bit. A lot of guys get some rest. They only threw 4 pitchers tonight. Neely and Hernandez went about an inning each. So the bullpen gets some help. The Gatemen, they're still above Hyannis in the standings.
Pompey fouls it off in the box. Pompey has been great today.
Yeah.
Bunts it. Foul.
Speaking of Hyannis, did you think we were going to see another 9-9 tie in the Cape League this year?
Wasn't thinking about it, but definitely possible. Did we see it?
We did. Cotuit. In Cotuit, they have 5 o'clock starts, and they get timed out due to darkness. That's what happened. 9-9 tie. Cotuit came back from 9-7. Really did the Gatemen a favor in terms of staying out of that 5th place spot. Do all teams in the West now have a tie?
Bourne does not.
Oh.
That is the only team. I was going there.
All right.
Full count now to Pompey. Hyannis now has 2 ties. That's the most.
Bourne leads Falmouth 7-5 in the bottom of the 9th.
Ground ball to Patton at first. And now the Gatemen down to their final out.
Harwich up 3-2. Orleans down to their final swings in the top of the 9th.
Last place, first place.
Yeah. Well, we thought Hyannis could have taken out Cotuit. They end up blowing the lead and having a tie.
Hey, so Hyannis beat Orleans a couple nights ago. Now Harwich about to do that?
Well, it's hard to say. You know, when you're the best team in the league for a reason, you probably can find a way to put some batters together.
So the standings in the West won't change much.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Bourne increases their lead over Falmouth and moves closer to Cotuit, but barely, by 1 point. And if this score holds, Hyannis will be 1 point closer to the Wareham Gatemen. Actually, they'll be tied at the end of the night. Oh, no, they won't. Sorry, the Gatemen will continue to have their 1 point lead over Hyannis.
Gatemen down to their final strike. Hutchinson on the hill. Here comes the 1-2 to Duran. Stays alive right off the home plate umpire Mike Griffin's helmet there, and he shaken up a little bit.
It was more off his left. It went off his helmet, yes, but I think the brunt of the contact was on his left shoulder. Just sort of skipped off his helmet. That's a really tough place for an umpire to get hit. Umpire equipment, for the most part, is the same as catching gear, and you can see the catcher's gear for Pena. You know, there's some weak areas in the shoulders.
1-2. Duran trying to stay alive against Hutchison. 2-2. Slow chopper coming in is Aiello from third on the run. Won't be in time for the speedy Duran.
Anybody else, that's a really great play, but not to beat Duran.
There is life.
Yes, the tying run is up in about 5 batters. But this game does continue.
Ben Baird, 1 for 3.
Impressed with his double. Good piece of situational hitting with 2 strikes. Hitting a ball that was back in the 2nd inning, right down the right field line. Got jammed and had the muscle strength to hit it out to the outfield.
Duran the runner at first.
Yep.
Don Sneddon does not elect to pinch hit for anyone today.
Yeah, give your guys a day of rest.
Right back to Hutchinson on the hill. Retires Ben Baird. That will do it at Spillane Field. The Chatham Anglers, they come into Wareham's home territory and defeat the Gatemen by a final score of 8-2. Tough day for the offense.
Yeah, that'll sum it up. Tough day for the bullpen as well. There's not a lot you can say about this game except it was sort of a poor effort coming off a loss in extra innings, coming off a tie after 12 innings. So the Gatemen, they finally play a normal baseball game. It just doesn't go in their favor. You know, dropping to 10-13-1. The Gatemen were so close to getting to 500. They were so close to 11-11. They give that away. They're close again from getting to 11-11-1. They give that away, and now they give up tonight.
Chatham gets 8 runs on 13 hits, no errors. Gatemen 2 runs, 7 hits, and 3 errors. They lose this one by a final score of 8-2. Thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producers of today's broadcast are Nick Veronesi and Matt Wieselthaler. Our sideline reporter is Claudia Chikamian. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as the Gatemen host the Brewster Whitecaps. The game starts at 6:30. Our coverage begins on YouTube with the Gatemen Pregame Show starting at around 6. For Connor Federico, I'm Jacob Toby. Thank you for tuning into this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.